When I first moved to Canada, I made a few financial mistakes. Some cost me money, while some delayed my financial goals. Today, I'll be sharing with you 7 financial mistakes that new immigrants make when they come to Canada. Number 7 is one that I'm personally guilty of, and I hope you watch this video to the end so that you can avoid these financial pitfalls. Number 1, not coming with enough money to cover 3 to 6 months expenses in Canada. Settling in Canada can be very expensive. As a new immigrant, landlords might be asking you to pay at least 3 months rent, sometimes more than that. Landlords demand so much from new immigrants, and if you're not financially prepared, you're going to get into trouble. So that is number 1 financial mistakes people make. Not planning well enough, bringing enough money, especially the proof of funds that you've shown the government of Canada that you have, and you're coming to Canada without that fund. You're going to be in a lot of trouble because finding accommodation, transportation from one place to the other while looking for a job can be very expensive, and these monies add up. If you're unable to land a job within 3 months in Canada, and you look at how much you've spent on transportation, accommodation, you see that it is a lot. So it is worth it to plan well and come with as much money as possible. And this brings me to the second financial mistake that new immigrants make when they get to Canada: not having emergency funds. Emergency funds is money that you have saved up for you to make use of to cover your expenses in case of emergencies. Life in Canada can be very unpredictable. Job loss, medical expenses, unforeseen errors, a lot of things that can actually cost you money to fix. If you don't have an emergency fund, you'll be in a lot of trouble. So it's advisable to have in savings at least a sum of money that can cover up to 3 months, between 3 months or even up to 6 months of your monthly expenses. It's advisable to have that money saved up in an high yield savings account so that you can have access to it in case of any emergencies. Number 3 is not building and monitoring their credit. Many immigrants don't prioritize building their credit when they get to Canada. And Canada is such a society that depends on credit a lot. And considering the fact that a lot of new immigrants come from societies where they do not emphasize a lot of, or where they do not place a lot of emphasis on credit, this makes new immigrants to take building credit for granted. For example, there are some societies, like from where I'm from in Nigeria, we don't believe in taking loans, right? And some families even have that belief that if they have to take a loan to buy something, then they shouldn't buy it. So which makes sense for that kind of society. But in Canada, you must be able to make use of credit, or you must be able to make use of the credit system to your advantage. If you don't have good credit, it will be difficult for you to even rent a house. Something as little as getting a phone or getting a phone plan can be difficult because you don't have good credit. And maybe later in the future, as a new immigrant, you want to buy a house, or you want to finance a car, then it gets difficult if you've not been deliberate about building your credit. Now, when we talk about building credit, it does not necessarily mean that you should take all the loans possible. Oh, take a loan here, finance this there. No, you have to be strategic about it. Now, as a new immigrant, of course, you are starting afresh. No credit history in Canada and all that. And you need to start building your credits. How do you start? Number 1 is you can get a credit card from your bank. Most banks have programs for newcomers to get credit card. They can give you as high as $2,000. Some even go higher than that. It's a good place to start building your credit. The way credit card works is that it is money that the bank has made available for you to borrow. So you can borrow it and pay it back. You do not necessarily have to carry a balance for you to take advantage of using a credit card. And if you don't want to borrow, you can get a secured credit card, whereas your money is going to be like a guarantee on the credit card, So you have, say, $10,000, then the bank gives you a secured credit card or a secured line of credit of $10,000, So it's like your money is what is securing that credit. With that, you're not scared of, oh, I'm going to be owing the bank. I don't want to do that. Of course, I know some people don't like to take loans at all. But in Canada, it is important for you to build credit, so you have to make use of this strategy. Another thing you must be careful about is credit utilization. Make sure that you do not use more than 30% of the limit that the bank has given you. That way, your credit score is going to get high faster. Because if you are utilizing, let's say, 80% or 100% of the credit limit that the bank has given you, it indicates that you are relying heavily on borrowing money, or you're relying heavily on this credit, which is not a good sign to creditors. So make sure you keep your credit utilization to as low as 30. Another tip I would give about utilizing credit is that you should make sure that you pay back on time. So when you use any balance on your line of credit or on your credit card, make sure that you pay back on time so as to avoid paying interest. Now, if you're paying back on time, it will also positively affect your credit score. Another thing that affects your credit score is other payments, like bill payments. So if you have a phone bill, make sure you pay back on time. If you have a utility bill, make sure you're paying it on time. And before you know it, your credit score is going to skyrocket. Now, how do you even know what your credit score is? It is by monitoring, it's by checking it and monitoring your credit score. Now, there are apps such as Borrowwell or Credit Karma that provide services of, monitoring your credit. By monitoring your credit, it means you know what is affecting your credit. You know what loans you've taken, you know what cards you have, you know what is happening. You're not just leaving it to chance. And also it helps you to make sure that nobody is doing anything fraudulent with your profile. So it helps you to make sure that nobody has stolen your information and gone to one bank or one financial service provider to open a loan in your name. So it's very important that you monitor your credit. Another mistake that new immigrants make when they come to Canada is not filing their taxes or delaying their tax filing. Taxes is something that you cannot ignore, because ignoring it and not filing it on time or not filing it at all will definitely attract the CRA to you, and you'll be heavily penalized for it. Why would you not even file your taxes? Unfortunately, a lot of new immigrants do not know that if they file their taxes, they might be eligible for a lot of refunds. So if you don't file your taxes, how do you get the refund? So not filing your taxes might actually be making you to miss out on refunds on some tax credits such as GST, HST credits, and also child benefits. So it's important that you file your taxes on time. Make sure you file it accurately. Do not delay it at all. As a newcomer, it is not uncommon for you to be able to get these services for free even. So all you have to do is to look for settlement services near you and check for free tax consultation. I'm sure even some schools offer these services for free to students. So if you're a student, if you're an international student in Canada and you're confused as to what do you do about these taxes, and well, it's tax season right now in Canada, and you should be speaking to someone. You should be speaking to someone in your school, be speaking to someone in your community. Go online and search for tax clinics or accountants, and you'll be able to get help where you need it. Do not ignore your taxes. Mistake number 5 is ignoring long-term plans. A lot of new immigrants just focus on making money. They forget about their retirement. You've forgotten that you're growing older every day. You need to make plans for your retirement. Don't get caught up in just making money, sending money back home, black tax, and maybe enjoying yourself, working. You need to make plans for the long term. What's your retirement plan? How much do you want to retire with? How much do you want to have in your investment portfolio when you retire? You need to think about it. The best time is that moment when you land in Canada for you to start investing. Make use of all the registered investment options that are available. RSP, FHSA, that's first time home buyer savings account, I believe. And there's RESP for your children. Open an RESP for your children and invest in it. Don't just leave the money in savings. If you open a TFSA, tax-free savings account, don't just leave the money in savings. You need to now invest it within that account. That is one mistake that people make. They open a TFSA and put money there. It's just a savings account, or the bank just do mutual funds for them where you're not getting enough returns for your money. Make sure you are investing your money. Make use of apps like Wealth Simple, Quest Trade, TD Direct Investing. Look for financial advisors that will teach you how to invest your money, or that can even invest your money on your behalf. Don't leave your money sitting down in your RSP or your TFSA. It's just sitting down in savings. Make sure that you are investing your money. You'll be surprised how much you can make from the by investing your money, even by investing as little as $50 maybe bi-weekly from your pay. If you're investing $100 bi-weekly, you'll be surprised how much you can make from doing that in the long term. So start planning your retirement. Mistake number 6 is insurance. Not having it at all, or not having the correct one, or not having enough insurance. Buying insurance for your car, don't take the bare minimum. Make sure you know what is covered. For example, some people have insurance on their car and they would not know that they probably will not get anything back if something happens to their car, and they will not know until when something happens. I think I saw someone's video where they said their car, maybe someone stole their car or something, and when they spoke to insurance said, look, we can't give you any money for your car. Why? They probably did not have the correct type of insurance for that car. For example, if you have a third-party insurance on your car and something happens to your car, you won't be indemnified. Only the third party is the one that gets something out of it. So make sure that you know the kind of insurance that you are getting. Another mistake here, also within insurance, is life insurance. A lot of new immigrants come here and they don't buy life insurance because, of course, I'm not going to die. Nothing will happen to me in Jesus' name. Yes, nothing will happen to you, but then you need to protect your loved ones. Buy insurance so that your loved ones are protected. The good thing about insurance is that the earlier you get it, the better. It's cheaper when you're younger, to get life insurance than when you are older. So the best time to get life insurance is today. Because tomorrow you're older, you're getting older. So buy life insurance and make sure you get the appropriate type of life insurance. For example, I know that in Canada, there are some type of life insurance salespeople who target newcomers because they know that newcomers don't know how the system works yet. And they'll target them, selling to them that come and do this insurance. This insurance will help you to also invest your money, and you may be able to get something back in the future from this life insurance. But such products, they are not entirely bad, but the situation is that for most people, for most new immigrants, they do not need that product yet. You've not even maxed out all your registered options. I mean, by registered options, registered investment options, I mean the other registered investment types of accounts that you can have that would save you, taxes. For example, your TFSA, you don't pay taxes on the income you earn and interest you earn on that. Your RSP reduces your tax burden. If you've not maxed out all those options, why would you now be investing in a different type of product, in a life insurance product? Such products are meant for different purposes entirely, but a lot of times, salespeople target newcomers because they know that they don't know what is happening. They don't know much about the financial system yet. So don't fall for that. Make sure that before you buy such life insurance products, make sure that you've maximized all the other options. Then if you have money left, you can now look at such products. Mistake number 7 that new immigrants make when they arrive in Canada is having the fear of missing out. FOMO. And this is one that I'm also guilty of, overspending on house, overspending on the cars, overspending on jewelry and clothing, trying to keep up with the Joneses. Look, as new immigrants, you have to be able to avoid such expenses, Unfortunately, many immigrants want to look successful immediately, They want to live in big houses, they want to drive the best cars, They want to wear the designer clothes and jewelry and all that. But if you're not careful, you'll be in trouble. All these things are good, but they lead to huge financial stress. When you have a big loan, when you're driving a very expensive, nice car, that nice car is going to cost you a lot in interest, and when you're buying a big house, something that is stretching you too thin, you feel the stress. And unfortunately, you see immigrants doing multiple jobs just to survive and keep up with this lifestyle. You don't want to be caught in such lifestyle stress. Don't let your lifestyle creep put you in trouble. You don't need to buy a new car. Look for something used, maybe not too old, so you are not spending a lot of money fixing it, but make sure that you don't get into the trap of keeping up with the Joneses, because at the end of the day, those people you see driving nice cars, living in big houses and all that, you do not know how they are making their money, and you don't even know how they are making it work. So which of these financial mistakes have you made or you've seen other people make? Let me know. Please share in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've learned one or two things from this video. Please make sure you like the book. Please make sure you press the like button, share it with your loved ones, with whoever you think should be seeing this, and please consider subscribing to my channel so you can see more content like this. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.